Hello and welcome to another broadcast with Southern Maple. And today we are going to be making an easy no-stir risotto. And there are three different versions. You can just do the plain version, you can do one with sun-dried tomatoes and spinach, or you can do one with fresh tomatoes, a caprese version, fresh tomatoes, mozzarella cheese, and basil. So today what we're going to do, you see it pictured up on the screen, the finished product. We are going to get started by cooking our onions, sauteing them, and I'm going to be cooking this recipe under pressure, but you could cook it on the stove or in the description in this video. You can also click on the link and it will tell you instructions for cooking it in the microwave. So our ingredients for this recipe are, we have some chicken broth, we have onions, we have arborio rice, and we have fresh garlic. We'll put a little bit of salt in, a little bit of pepper, and then we'll have our add-ins at the end. So let's go ahead and get started with our sauteing of our vegetables, and I am going to use our pressure cooker, and we are going to turn it to the sear function. So we'll move this back, and I am going to just turn my knob to hit sear, and I want to put a little bit of oil into the pressure cooker, and we'll see if we can get that into the screen a little bit better. We'll just move. You can see it says 20 right there, and that is going to just be an automatic time, but we won't need 20 minutes. I'm going to put in just a little bit of oil into the pressure cooker, and we're just cooking in the stainless steel pot. It's 6 quart, and to that we want to add some chopped onions, and I have diced up some onions here today, and we're going to chop those more finely using the food processor because I want them in pieces, but I don't want them pulverized. So I'm just going to take my onions and pop them in. And I have about 1 medium onion here. And if you have any questions about the recipes, feel free to comment or ask questions. I'm always happy to answer. All right, so we're going to go ahead and pump this. Perfect. That should be good. Give it a couple more pumps. And that is the size of the onions. And I hear my oil is popping over here a little bit. So it's hot and ready to go. You should hear a sizzling. Perfect. And we'll just scrape out the excess onions and stir those into our pot. All right, and then we're going to add in 1 cup of arborio rice. And arborio rice is a shorter, flatter kind of rice, and it bangs together when it cooks, so it's going to give more of a creamy texture than your traditional rice. And then we are going to add into our pot some fresh garlic. And I wish we had an overhead view for this today so you could see into the pot, but that wasn't working. So we are just going to take some fresh garlic, and I'm going to press it here onto the countertop for you to see. And that fresh garlic is going to give us so much flavor. And we're going to do several cloves. You can't overdo the garlic, right? We'll just press that directly onto the surface. You could press it also into the pot, but since that's not visible, we'll do it here so you all can see. And you can also, something else I like to press is onion, because it will give me a lot of strong flavor without giving me the texture when I make salad dressings, for instance, or if I am making potato salad or guacamole. All right, we're going to take our fresh garlic, so much flavor, and we're going to stir that in with our risotto. And then we're going to use some chicken broth, and I have 3.5 cups, just a little under. So I'm going to fill it back up so that it reaches 3.5 cups. You could do this as a vegetarian version and do a different kind of broth, like a vegetable broth if you would want. But I highly recommend broth because it's going to give it a lot more flavor than just water. All right, so our vegetables and our garlic are coming right along. I am going to opt to add some chicken in here as well. So you could do chicken, and I'm going to go ahead and put my chicken broth in, and you hear that sizzling. What I'm actually doing is deglazing my pot so that I don't lose any of that yummy flavor from my onions. All right, and we're just going to take one chicken breast. I've already trimmed this, prepped it up, and so I don't have to touch it since I don't have gloves. I'm just going to pick one up with my knife, and I'm going to put it into the pot. All right. So there we have it, a very simple recipe. And then once it comes out from cooking, it will take 4 minutes to actually cook this risotto once it comes completely under pressure. We're going to finish one off because I did one in advance. So I'm going to move this chicken out of the way. And here is our finished product. There's our finished product with, I've got a piece of chicken in there as well. So I'm going to put it back into the quick cooker, and we're just going to finish that off. All right, so I'm going to put it back onto sear and get it back to boiling. Perfect. We have that chicken breast. You can take it out and cut it. You could shred it if you would want to. To this version, I am going to add my chopped chicken, but in addition, I'm going to do 2 cups of fresh spinach. It's going to give it lots of wonderful color and nutrition, and it will just take a minute for that all to wilt down. I've also got a 1/2 cup of freshly grated Asiago cheese that we're going to go ahead and put in there as well, and we'll stir that in. Again, if you don't want these add-ins, the spinach or the tomatoes or the chicken, you don't need to. And then I've just got these pieces of tomatoes. What I did, these are Campari tomatoes. You could do a grape tomato or a cherry tomato, and I just pretty much de-seeded them so I don't have all that water content. And I'm going to throw them in this size. It's about 1/4 of a small tomato, a Campari tomato. So I'm just going to pop those in. The reason I don't want all of that juice is it just can make it, if you have leftovers, kind of watery and affect the flavor. So we're going to stir in our spinach. I'm going to put in our tomatoes into the pot. Oh, that cheese is melting and looks fantastic. So we've got everything here but our cheese. So I'm going to take this out and I'm going to let you see what it looks like. And you can also look on the picture, the thumbnail that is going to flash up on the camera as well, so that you can see the finished picture. So super easy, a quick risotto, 3 different versions. You can do plain, you can do the caprese or the spinach version. So don't forget to subscribe, like, share this video because there are lots more to come. Thank you so much for joining us today. Bon appetit.